Well, maybe he'll join us.
Let's see, Robbie. Let's see how busy you are.
Put a link up for this. Come join us.
So are you
Like and
doing
subscribe.
posts and stuff then?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Gonna add a link and hope that Robbie can share it, because I haven't been able to get the,
All right, so we can talk about this neighbor guy that attacked my honor.
Cannot wait.
I don't know, maybe a little. We'll see. We can kind of go into that. I had some parenting questions that I thought maybe Robbie could jump in on.
Well, I'm here, by the way. I'm also a mom.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
Well, just because it's like,
so
just because he's got some young ones too, like elementary school age still.
I'm just.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gotcha.
More like that. Like, I don't know. Get into that. Yeah, this I don't know, Manny, if anybody's aware of this whole I guess Harry Potter, there's a video game, and like
Yes.
all the people that get into video games aren't allowed to say the name of the video game or something.
Yes, the video game that cannot be mentioned.
Yeah. It's wild.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, we can talk about that for a minute, because there's like a whole nother culture going on, right? In the gaming world, the Twitch world. Like there's been massive controversies over there that maybe touch the mainstream a little bit, but are, I think, big parts of our culture.
I also have been. It's difficult for me to keep up with gaming, the gaming world, everything, because I can't. As much as I try to, I just haven't been able to game. I don't make much time for gaming these days.
Well, as you get older, you can't. Yeah, you can't like. I don't know, unless you run a YouTube channel and it's your job to, like, you literally can't play, through 4 games a month,
Be nice.
Yeah.
Busy being responsible, but yeah, like just whenever I do decide to indulge and check into the gaming sphere here with all the known streamers and commentators, etc., what they're up to and what they're bitching about, I was like, sounds like a headache. Glad I don't follow it.
Yes, Monkey Uncle, we're gonna shake our money makers for you.
Oh yeah, what up, Monk?
Lord.
What up, Monk?
Monk.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Discord, because I'm not really in the gaming community, but I did play a game for a while, one of these giant online games, not World of Warcraft.
Game.
Yeah. And I was in a Discord group for this game in my alliance, and then the world of the server were like, and it gets real. Like it's like a whole nother universe over there, in Discord. Yeah, It's really crazy. Like a whole nother world. And I would remember, like, I was a little bit, the people in my group thought I was Homelander from the show The Boys, because that was kind of my attitude and, the kind of things I would say or do or memes I would share in that group. And yeah, like people get really offended, like really, really offended. And it was like, it really wouldn't compute for me, because it was just like funny. But it's like a whole nother woke unit. Like I hate saying woke and all that. Everybody says that, but it's
progressive, man. Just say progressive.
But I don't know if there's any other word to describe. There's no other word to describe like this alternate universe that these people live in this, because it's not like the metaverse, like VR, but it is like the metaverse in that, like, they're all like kind of playing kind of half characters of themselves in these games, like weird stuff. Anyway, man. What else? Yeah, Robbie's not here. We were going to talk about, I was going to see what he had to think about this. Like, there's like a weird, there's like a meltdown in conservative, libertarian, like right-leaning, independent YouTube news, whatever shows, all these like crazy, like Daily Wire versus Steven Crowder.
Oh, the ship has sailed. Like we missed the boat on talking about that, man.
That's over. but it's a string. And now then like for some reason this quartering, there's like a popular YouTuber covers like culture or whatever, has been going after Tim Pool the last couple weeks.
Over what? Or why?
Maybe we can get in the pod, but it's like,
Oh yeah, you got it.
yeah.
Let's just
Yeah.
why don't you
Let's
make
go.
whatever post you had to make?
I made one, but should we ask is it okay to ask Robbie to share it, or should we ask Robbie to share it, or do you think he's busy?
I would assume he's busy.
Okay.
Where does he normally share it? Like
From the
Instagram.
account. Yeah.
I tagged you guys on the Instagram. On my Instagram, I tagged you guys, which usually Robbie can like share that. And he includes like the links.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so just go ahead and start with the audio recording, Chris.
Okay.
Get this going. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back for episode. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 140 of your Endless Radio Ranters podcast. I'm screwing it all up tonight.
You got
Thanks
football in the brain over here, man. Talk
Football.
about Raiders.
Yeah, no, yeah. Big Raiders fan here. Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 140 of your Endless Ranters podcast. Thanks for listening, watching, and subscribing. We truly appreciate the support. My name's Chris. I'm one of your hosts for this evening. Robbie is on dad duty tonight. Turns out being a dad's kind of takes a lot of time. And who would have thought, you know? But we are joined by America's favorite soggy mom. It's Kwana. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
That's good. You seem so nice tonight. Yeah. knock it off. And then there's a man with the plan. It's producer Manny. What's going down, old man?
I have homework for you, Chris. I know that this isn't a very homework-oriented show, but odd hypothetical I spoke about in the group chat earlier.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
week.
yeah. We were wondering if this would ever happen.
It might get a weird reaction out of your wife, or it might just be like, "What? Don't bother me with this bullshit."
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
It's not the same question you asked me at the happy hour, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know, Manny. No.
I'd like to know. You ask her whenever you have some downtime, between you and the wife. Ask her if she would
Don't
have.
ask her this, Christopher. Don't ask her this.
If she would have married you if you had 2 buttholes and no dick.
I don't think so. Like, I hope that's a no. I wouldn't have married me. Is this a trick question?
No, this is not a trick question. I've been
Okay.
going around asking this of people as of late, and
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to ask her, but mostly because I already know the
Yeah.
answer.
she's gonna be like, "Who are you interacting with?" And
Yeah, I also
please
like-
stop it immediately.
I would also like to, keep this time I've managed to carve out,
Yeah.
be allowed to be able to do this podcast,
Not
I gotcha.
exactly.
You don't want it to bleed over into your life.
Yeah.
I got
Thank
it. Any more than it has.
No, but I think the answer is no. Because obviously people like her and I are both on the same page. Like, you got 2 buttholes and no dick. You got to be put down.
It seems so obvious. Your answer seems so obvious.
Yeah.
I was so taken off guard. I didn't really know what to say.
Yeah. I'm like, where's this 2 butthole freak? Let's get him. I got a pitchfork in the garage, man. He can't run that fast. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if they're faster, if they're slower.
Alrighty.
I don't know.
Oh
What
my
about you,
goodness.
man? Like, what? I'm not really sure, what would you do?
I'm
know,
administering this.
You haven't met the love of your life yet, but what if this is her? Like, what? I hope she doesn't have a dick. I guess 2 butthole. I don't know. Then it's not. Now it's like you like change the label on one of those holes. You're just talking about a woman.
All right, but I
I
am.
know. I don't want to. I don't want to get my doctor's hat out.
No, feel free.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
It's really high up in the closet with all my other costumes and wigs and stuff. No, so you don't want to answer? You're
I can't participate since I'm the one administering
Oh, yeah,
this,
that's true.
this useless survey, so I'm
you're a
avoid.
scientist,
Yeah.
clearly, butthole scientist, specialize in dual buttholes. There probably is somebody that has that. So it's like,
Oh yeah, of course, right?
yeah,
Oh my god.
man,
I'm sure.
that
I saw those
story time
conjoined
at the
sisters.
library.
Remember
It's gonna
yeah,
be wild next year.
yeah.
I'm sure Monk is gonna post some interesting story in the comment section
Be some
about
crazy
that.
books being written about my dad's have two buttholes. Like, I guess, no, well, technically they,
It would be. It would.
yeah.
Anyway,
The math adds up. We can move on. Last week we
Yeah.
got hoaxed big time. We got hoaxed big time.
did we?
Yeah, man, it like ruined my weekend almost.
Are you still like
Until
rattled
someone
from
else run.
balloon from the rattled from that balloon? Is that what it is?
No, I'm not rattled. Because we had. I mean, I had like 40 minutes of like balloon jokes. I had all these memes, like everything, and like, and then like right before we go live, like there's these reports on the Daily Mail, that
Right.
that POS rag website that I rely on for 90% of my
For all of
information.
your information.
Yeah, whatever.
Every story you share is a Twitter link or the Daily Mail.
They got a lot of
The
articles,
Twitter
and
links are to the Daily Mail.
I really love their articles because like they'll be like 40 pages long, but they'll have like 7 or 8 bullet points at the top that pretty much sum it all up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's their hope.
yeah, but then there was that bogus article that came out like right when we were closing down the happy hour that there was like an explosion in the skies over Montana. So I thought they took it out, and I don't know, it just burst my bubble.
Well,
Literally.
Sorry. Well, there's a new one today. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they got another one.
you'll be
Could've
fine,
been-
man.
Yeah, so I was like,
It
yeah, I
feels like
guess there'd
this
be
is going to
more.
be a thing now. It's going to be a thing. So get your
Man,
memes ready. Just have like new memes for
we're
when it's
just
over
getting,
California,
yeah.
Texas.
Well,
Or
I just
Florida.
it was in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
And then we had to, I don't know, figure out other things to talk about. But
Right.
then I guess it was alive for like another day and a half, and they shot it out of the sky. But it was a good week. It was a good week in memes. Yeah, they had another one, but they just said they shot something down over the sky in Alaska. Now, I don't know. They didn't say what it was.
Isn't it interesting that it's only been a week since the first one went down, and even now that this one happened, it's less like no one cares. Already, no one cares as there was the second one.
I think I said in our happy hour. I know it's kind of kooky, but like I just think like everything, all these crazy things you see on the internet about these balloons or like China or whatever. It's like our factories, and like Disney goes over there and they just censor some like China calls Disney up and like, we don't like this new Simpsons episode. You need to delete it over there. And Disney's just like, okay, you know, it's like everything makes more sense if maybe China's already running our shit. Like they've already got control of like our military. They've already paid them off, not to like take over, but just to keep us in like a constant state of just being good customers, you know, we just keep buying stuff, you know, and just kind of keeps the whole thing going around. Like these Americans that just keep buying all that this shit. We just keep this engine going. So they don't want to like take over and run us to like, you know, make us speak Chinese. They just want to take us over and run us to like just make us consumers, like just consume
Until we die.
We already are.
yeah. And then we just believe the most crazy stories. Like and I was saying, like, now that the balloons have happened, now like of course there's a little bit of a demand on the internet for more articles about, well, what else is going on that's really weird, that's well documented, but no one just decided not to tell us about it. Now I guess like in January, there were like green laser grids or things like just swooping over Hawaii, like scanning areas of Hawaii. They caught it on film, and it was like I mean, it's like pretty. I guess it's a Newsweek article that came out today that says that was a Chinese satellite just scanning our shit.
You mean fake news?
Didn't
like
Russia
Chris?
shoot down a UFO too? But didn't really catch a lot of news. But
Which one was this
Actually-
one?
Russia shot down some sort of
Did they?
unidentified. Yeah,
It's hard to
they're
think.
acting like that's no big deal now. Like it's like, oh yeah, we saw some, and it's like no one cares. It's
Well, I think they've kind of got it in a lot of people. It's like, well, it's like a next level drone, which I think is still a little bit more likely than aliens. It's more likely that, you know, the stuff that we were seeing in, like 50 years ago in movies is just real today.
Right.
Like they've had 50 years to work on it. They've had 50 years,
Yeah.
like since the first science fiction author like made a silver globe that darted around, they had 50 years to make one. They did. They're like, well, we should make one of those. And they did. And yeah, I don't know. Or it could be both.
Yeah.
Why?
I've
Well, I
heard you
guess.
mom say it's conditioning. Like the movies have always been conditioning for this.
Yeah, just not to go off a tangent, but we've been conditioned as either or too. It's like, oh, it could be both. It could be us like making next level stuff. And there could also be aliens. Like there's no logical reason to think that it must be one or the other. So it's
Right.
like, but we are conditioned to think dogs or cats. Do you like football or soccer? Like
Either.
you must have a favorite color. It's like,
Colorblind.
yeah, it's like, yeah, Republican or Democrat, dogs or cats, football or soccer, like, yeah.
Ridiculous.
You can just like them both.
More human condition. Ridiculous.
The soccer and Super Bowl, the soccer and football thing is crazy because these things aren't even on at the same time.
You can love both.
Like they're really not even like at no point do you have to make a choice. I guess maybe if you want to, watch sports all day and you've got someone in your life that wants you to do other things, you got to make a choice. But
yeah, that's right. How do you do it? You watch both football and football, Chris.
Well, that's the main reason you got to have a son, man.
You're a cultured individual.
Got to have a son. If I had daughters, I would have no reason to watch. I'm just kidding. The son helps because he's all into that stuff too. Bonding.
Oh, okay.
Bonding.
Well, soccer's easy because it comes on early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
No one really wants you to has any plans for you at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
True.
No, that's free time.
You could get a jump on breakfast too.
And in football, it's America. What are you, communists? What are we? What's happening here? This feels like an attack on freedom.
I'll just
Constitution,
tell you, Chris. It's just like
Second Amendment, Manny. First Amendment.
It's just like football to me is like gridlock traffic. There's just too much stop and go. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, pros and cons. Like there's, I love the NFL, but yeah, it can be torturous to watch. Yeah. And I know like that's why so many people watch CSI and like NCIS and like CBS programming is because if they had football, I swear. Like no one would watch The Blacklist on NBC if they didn't have like NBC Football Night in America, like advertising The Blacklist. And no one would watch any CSIs or NCIS or any of that shit if they weren't like nonstop drilling it into your head if you want to watch sports.
Only watched Blacklist because it was recommended to me by a friend. It was just like, you ever watch this? I was like, no. I was like, and then we just got high and binged it for a few seasons.
I've watched Blacklist. It's not a bad. It's okay. It's like network TV. James Spader. I love James Spader. I was gonna say,
yeah,
he kind of makes that show.
He does.
Anyway, sports, man. Sports. But yeah, like what if China's just already kind of like just in charge? And like we're like, oh,
they are, and the robots like are also here.
Yeah, you like when you take charge though, you make people like do everything. Like you make them no, you not necessarily. You just make them good customers, and you just make them like make sure they buy a new iPhone every 18 to 36 months. Keep buying stuff off Amazon. It's kind of like it explains a lot of stuff. Explains a lot of like why would we do that kind of questions? Like why would we do that? Why would we let this happen? Why would we do that?
Yeah.
Explains a lot of stuff. Then my other theory is that like half the people, like everything makes a lot more sense if you just realize half the people who walk around are just crazy as AF. Like just everybody's just out of their mind. People either
I heard you say that earlier. I felt it as an attack. That's fine.
Oh, it wasn't directed at you, just you. I mean, not just you.
Yeah.
No, but like everybody's either walking around like on medicines or like maybe they should be like the people that maybe should just change something and they don't really need the medicines are on it. And the people that really need them are just walking around like babbling to themselves, like setting up tents in the middle of the cities and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like killing their babies, whatnot. So there was that crazy story of that woman who strangled her kids and then slit her wrist and jumped out the fucking window.
God,
she survived.
Fuck?
She survived. And, there's a news article about she's being arraigned from her bed in the hospital and she's a paraplegic.
Oh my goodness.
And they're saying it was all the yeah, the story is like this woman's
Hormones.
on like 12 or 13 different what I don't know what you call these things, antidepressants,
SSRIs probably.
SSR, yeah,
Yeah.
12 different medications. They were just like in a very short period of time because she had severe postpartum depression. So their idea was like, well, let's just let's just try a bunch, throw a bunch of drugs at her.
Surely the article mentioned that they're gonna hold the doctors accountable for
I don't think
allowing
so. I
such
don't.
a oversight to prescribe that many different medications to one patient. I mean,
No, I think because we've made a system where that's all legal and they're totally protected because
look, dude.
there's a book that says it's okay. There's a manual that the state licensing board decided was like, this is okay. This is okay.
20 pills a day, 20 plus pills a day, depending, like if my pain got worse, I could take a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Yeah.
20 different pills, SSRIs, uppers, downers, just ridiculous. The things that they're just like,
This is not really a judgment on like people that need help or whatever, things like that. It's just like,
no, of course not. It's
there's
just
a
the
lot
doctors.
of fucking
say,
chemicals like being thrown around in people's brains these days, and they're just walking
Yeah.
down the street past you.
Yeah. Driving
Yep.
cars.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Driving cars. There's a story today. A guy was driving just normal neighborhood. He's driving like a GMC pickup truck, but like a nice one. You know, this is like a $80,000 pickup truck. You know, and they just like there's just video of him mowing a couple down on the street because he started hearing voices, and he mowed some guy down. And then he was hearing these voices and he made sure this guy just backing up. He did like a 3-point turn, backed up, and came down to mow down the other, like the husband of the wife that he didn't get on the first pass, like because he was hearing voices. It's like, I mean, yeah, maybe people hear voices, but maybe people that are copped up on all kinds of drugs and stuff, like maybe they hear voices more. I don't know, man. Anyway, again, not a judgment. It's more like I'm just saying these things make a lot more sense when you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, we live in an insane asylum. Practically an insane asylum. It's awesome.
Practically.
And also, yeah, I just wanted to say China balloon.
China.
In my head, that's how I say it. China balloon with a Y. It's not Chinese balloon, not a balloon from China. China balloon.
You're obsessed with that fucking balloon, dude.
Yeah.
No, well, not anymore. I mean, now it's the next one, and like, who knows? And Tim Pool makes he makes this point where it's like, if China's about to invade Taiwan, which, like, I guess, you know, the news tells
signal right there.
The news tells me, like, all of our news channels tell us that this is a threat. This is an imminent threat all the time. And our congressmen and our politicians need to go over there and have solidarity because they may attack. And it's like, okay, well, I believe you. They may attack anytime. And it's like, you really think they care about what we do to weather balloons, or, you know, that they're in trouble for floating weather balloons or whatever balloon? You really think they care, like, that we're mad at them about that when they're about to invade another country? Like, you think Russia is like really like worried about like our, you know, we don't condone their LGBT policies when they're about to invade another country? They're just like, okay, have fun, write a letter, you know?
Put a sticker on your Facebook.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, maybe that's about to happen. I don't know. Other stories come out like that. I guess it's been a news story. A few reputable organizations picked up with this story that there was pretty much a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine early on, like that was being worked out. And the West was like, no, no. Oh, no, you don't. We got some weapons to pump in there first. Like, you're not done. Like, we're not playing this game yet with you. And it's getting harder and harder to deny that that's kind of how this has been working. It's like, maybe for the better. Maybe this is good because we're good and they're evil. But yeah, we've been like playing games with these people. I don't know. What do y'all think?
It's Yeah, go ahead,
Like,
Quana. I know you're the
no, I
resident
just think
expert
it's all
about,
intertwined. I think it's all just smoke and mirrors for other stuff. It's just, I don't know.
or it's
It's
part of the bigger picture, and we're just
Well,
that's
we're pumped. We're basically saying like to Russia, like we're never going to be done giving your enemy weapons. We're not at war with
right.
you. We're not at war with you. We don't like what you did. We're not at war with you, but we're never going to stop giving your
just
neighbor weapons to fight you. We're never going to stop. And like Americans are walking around like everything is fine. Like we're not on the brink of any kind of major escalation. Like, no, that's like we seem sure that's not going to
They're
happen.
so happy to blame Trump for all of their problems. Like that is the, you know, all,
Yeah, like
like nothing's happening, nothing big. Biden's taking care of us. We're safe. Everybody's under the same illusion that everything's okay when nothing
well,
is okay.
what
Nothing is
goes
okay.
yeah, like the one thing like there seems like there's a really concerted effort by every like media government in our country to like make sure that we just have that consumer confidence remains high. Like,
Right.
that's always one of the bottom line for
yeah. And it's like, so like news stories about how maybe the Ukraine Russia war could have ended early on, and it
Mhm.
seemed like Ukraine was okay giving up some ground,
But those media outlets that we're hearing from are all owned by the same voices that are controlling everything. And we learn from the Twitter files that the government is telling those voices what to say.
Mhm.
So it's all just like these two big heads, whether it's Rothschilds or the all the other people, but like that's who's telling us all the things. And everybody, like you've seen the news things. I know everyone's seen it. At this point, everyone should have seen it, where like the news stories all start, they show like videos from hundreds of different cities across our country, and they all start with the same, the words are the
Same
same.
message,
They're
the
saying the
same narrative,
words. Yes.
the script.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
this the
So,
script.
yeah.
It's a script. It's a
Yeah, like I
script.
think like half of our news is practically AI already because the way that the headlines are done are not real people anymore. They're like
they're all
customized
deep fakes.
headlines. No, they're
It's
customized headlines that are created by an algorithm to see like what's going to get Chris to open this story about this and what's going to get Manny to open it.
I'll
Well,
tell you what,
Manny's in
nothing.
California, so like it's more likely that we should make the headline go in this direction. Chris is in Texas, so we're going to make the headline go in another direction. The main thing is we need both these suckers to open this click,
right.
and see advertisements for avocados and then eat guacamole later at their favorite restaurant and keep this thing going, man.
Yeah,
Get really drunk on margaritas and call it a night.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that seems like that because it's like everybody's walking around like, yo, like there are a lot of dangerous things going on. Like likely, like probably won't become a third world war, even if China does take over Taiwan. Most likely, everybody's just gonna be a lot of yelling and saber rattling, and then everybody's just gonna be like, "Can we still buy those chips from you guys?" Like,
right.
yeah, you can still buy the chips. And they're like, "You're gonna charge a little more, aren't you?" Yeah, we're gonna charge you a little more. Like, all right, well, god damn it, like,
We
Can
live
you
and
in
then
cut us
they'll
a break if we stop with the saber rattling?
and then they'll turn to and then our leaders will turn to us and be like, "You guys willing to like if I tell you everything will be cool, are you guys willing to pay, an extra 10% for everything you buy now?" Like, okay. And then just keep
will
on
still
going.
come right to our door. Sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like China's floating a balloon over us, and like obviously, like, like you got to be retarded if you don't think that's like some kind of act of aggression. And it's like, but people are just like, I gotta go on Amazon today and
Actually,
get
I
some,
have
I
an
gotta buy some
explanation.
stuff on Amazon today. Like, and everybody, like literally every single American is like buying a brand, like buying something made in China today. Like you're not gonna get through your
I
day. You're not gonna like, and there's no escaping it. There's no escaping
know.
it.
It's
No
by
escaping it.
design, man. You
I
can't get out of
know.
the system. I
Yeah.
was gonna tell you the other balloon was Jackie Chan filming a sequel to 80 Days Around the World. So,
Man, I read that original book when I was in grade school, man. That was very man, I don't know. That book was important to my childhood.
I never read it. I feel like I
So it's
was
such a
chipped on a
cool
lot of.
thing.
Yeah.
Such a cool, like, can't like recite lines, but it's just such a cool idea, I guess, of just being randomly dropped, like being in these random places you know,
Uh-huh.
as a Westerner, I guess. Just anyway. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, it's crazy stuff going on. Manny, more
Yes.
of your world,
Mhm.
our
What's
world
up?
that we share together that Quana has no idea exists is like the whole Harry Potter game. I think we were chatting about it before we started the official podcast, but
Oh yeah, all the gaming nerds, well the progressive ones at least, that get pissed off about any old thing are, rattling their controllers as opposed to their sabers and
that I
trying
don't
to.
know. Are there a lot of people in this gaming community are older? Or you're
Yeah.
saying like more like, because I'm thinking of like
Well,
young
no,
people,
I mean
but
it's
yeah, there's old gamers. Yeah.
yeah, there's my generation and slightly above, and then everyone below, and the ones that want to still point to the fact that J.K. Rowling's a turf or whatever. They're trying to stop this game from happening at all costs, and I'm just like, look, some people just want to enjoy the game. Fuck off.
Yeah, they want to try to put Harry Potter back in the box or back in
Mhm.
back in the toothpaste tube or something. Like they're trying to cancel Harry Potter. Like, okay.
It's like, look, the sorting hat was wrong, bitch. This game's not happening.
These are just like masochists that like to lose. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that, but like, all right. So like,
Are they trying to cancel it because of the J.K. Rowling's trans
yeah, I was just
Yeah.
whatever?
gonna like, I was just
Yeah.
So the
gonna like,
game is okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even though it looks
which
like a fun game, I mean, looks dope, but
But it's already been developed, so
yeah.
probably this is just to get people to buy it, to get people to talk about it, to get
it's
people to
Harry
know
Potter.
about
Yeah, it's
it.
Harry Potter. It's part of the Harry Potter franchise. So like, there anything that comes up, whether it's a lunchbox or a video game, like there's a group of folks that
Gotcha.
go nuts online or whatever against her. And I think like if like you really documented like what has J.K. Rowling really ever said about the trans community, like it is like very minimal. You know,
Yeah.
like you could do it on a page, like maybe a paragraph of like what she's actually ever said.
Yeah.
But the
It's
fact that
like when
this
they said that
woman has,
Chick-fil-A was against gay people and because they donate to gay, they are
yeah,
anti-gay,
yeah, yeah,
but it's because they donate to the one that has the red bucket, the one that
the
rings the
marriage,
bell.
oh,
That's
Salvation Army or something.
they don't
Yeah.
they donate to the
Yeah,
Salvation Army, so that makes them
yeah.
anti-gay because it's just so weird.
I would
Yeah.
say that even that it like J.K. Rowling would be even worse because she has said a couple things, but literally like it's a couple things like that.
Yeah.
Hey, men and women are, they're biological men and biological women. It's like they're not the same, and it's like
Yeah.
there's like like they're just trying to destroy Harry Potter over this. It's, but this is a little bit different because it's like I think a lot of this goes on in like the Twitch community or Twitch
Yeah.
and gaming community, and Twitch is probably like
Oh,
the
right.
Facebook of that community now. Like it's probably like for old people maybe.
Okay.
And now there's
Um,
Discord and who knows many more sites that are geared around like gaming communication. Is that fair to say?
Gotcha.
Like gaming
Yeah.
community communication,
There's
alliances and all that stuff. But yeah, like it fascinates me because it's just there's a whole nother like I wouldn't even call it a subculture. You know what I mean? Because I think that's
You wouldn't
kind
think
of
it's a subculture?
derogatory. I wouldn't call it that because I think it's like big. It's
Okay.
big. It's not like if some hippies on like, what is it, Haight and Ashbury Street in San Francisco. Like it's like
Oh, right.
massive,
Wasn't she celebrated at one point for like being like a survivor of something? Wasn't she like
She was celebrated, yes, at one
I
like
don't
a
point.
know.
single mom or like escaped domestic violence or something, right?
Yeah,
There's like she had something that was big, like
that doesn't count anymore. Like in her case,
man.
in her case, that's been erased from the good points
It
column.
must be really hard because I feel like a lot of people that would be against her are really kind of the same people that really love Harry Potter.
That's
You know
what's
what I
so
mean?
crazy. Oh yeah, I mean, you see these
The crossover must be crazy, right?
yeah, so that's why like there's a lot of controversy because it's like in the gaming community, there's an app I think that someone made that allows you to find any streamer on Twitch that's
Okay.
streaming the game because that's what they'll do on Twitch. They'll play the game
Okay, yeah.
and then play it, and people are watching it live. So someone's developed something where you can plug in like what is it like? It'll show you any streamer that you like, that you follow, that is actually playing that game, so that you can go and cancel them or quit them or unsubscribe or go send them messages. Like, so there's like a hashtag, like the game that will not be named. There's like an actual hashtag for it, because no one wants to even say it in that world. And I'm sure like there's plenty of people in that world that are making fun of it, are playing it, and they're using that hashtag and, trolling the ones that aren't. But it's like, there's like a whole nother world there, and like there's all kinds of different battles being fought, cultural battles being fought. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I had no idea. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Well, I was saying, like, when I played this game, I played for a long time. It was a big game. We had a Discord channel. We had multiple Discord channels and like page, whatever. And yeah, people would like, I did notice that like there was like a weird level of sensitivity. Like, yeah, we're really high levels of like politically correctness.
Well, that's the other thing that threw me, is there's that level of political correctness, progressiveness, what have you, and then the counter to that, all the conservative gamers that were just like, get out of your feelings and just enjoy the fucking game, stupid.
So they kind of respond in like there's an element, of course, that's natural, that responds in a, not like, we're not going to try to talk you out of your ridiculous ways. We're just going to make fun of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's honest. Yeah.
So in that sense, it's kind of, it's funny to spectate, because like I said before we started, I don't keep up with all the wheelings and dealings of all the, the social circles, whatever, that surround video game culture and all that, like I used to. So, but it's still funny.
I've dabbled in it, and I didn't realize like, yeah, it's a whole nother world out there. And it's also like, it's like the precursor to the virtual reality, because these are folks that it's not VR, but in these Discord channels, in these games, they are, people aren't really bound by their age, male or female. Like, you play with people that you really like, you play with a lot of people that you really don't know if they're male or female. And some of them, I think, like, you would know with me, because I would make it clear, but because I'd just be bouncing around like a regular dude. But like a lot of those gamers, that they purposefully make themselves kind of unisex, or that you can't tell,
androgynous, whatever. Yeah.
They do that.
Seems like
and
a
they purposely
cesspool for
never
child
talk about
predators.
themselves. And
yeah, you're not wrong about that, Guana.
No, it does. It seems like
It's
a
that,
perfect ground for sexual predators.
it is, and it's also like, but at the same time, if you for someone that's not going to do any of that, it's I gotta imagine it's like it's a really interesting escape for them, where it's like they're not 65 and single, retired,
Right.
whatever. They're like just one of everyone, and they're kind of like yeah, there's 100 people, they're just like anybody else. Or maybe it's the opposite spectrum, where it's like, whatever, single dad, whatever, young person playing these games. But you don't really have to be that. So it's kind of like a step to, I don't want to call it cosplay or anything like that. A lot of these things maybe have kind of are still weird to the normal culture, so they kind of have a negative connotation. But it's kind of like a step towards that, a step towards like not being detached from your physical reality, like your physical age.
Catfishing, like you're catfishing, but it's easy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's accepted catfishing.
It's accepted, like obscurity, or what's the word for it? Yeah, accepted
anonymity.
That, yeah, or you're not like, you still have you're like, your personality's still there, but your personality isn't just not like,
it's skewed.
You can do whatever you want,
or maybe it's heightened.
It's not, or it's like it's not skewed, or it's not attached to like, I'm a 60-year-old retiree.
Yeah.
Do they see your face ever, or they're just watching the screen?
Some people on Discord, they'll put their face up there, and some people don't. No, not
Well,
in my
no,
game.
Discord,
In my game, you wouldn't see their face.
No, I think in Discord is audio only, but Twitch, if you're streaming on Twitch, you can choose
Yeah.
to either include your image or just, just your voice.
Discord, some people would use their face as their avatar and like just that's them, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's really rare, I think. And even if they do, you don't really know because it's like these people again, like there's a weird detachment from reality, or like a separation from it. In that, I'll just use someone's face that it's just some local comedian or local whatever. I just take that and I'll just use it as my own. It's like so yeah, like you really have no idea.
All right.
It is catfishing, or it's just like most of these people in the game, and they're not really trying to get anything over on anybody, or they enjoy living in that kind of different reality where they're kind of independent from their physical body or whatever. I don't know.
All right.
So,
but leave the game alone. People just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game or don't.
But
yeah, that too. Like you have an option, just walk away from it. It's just like,
no. They must make sure that no one else has joy from this.
No, but the thing about as someone that grew up with that was harboring some anger, resentment, whatever, after a while that shit just gets fucking exhausting. It's just like, haven't these people reached the level of exhaustion where it's just like, I have to do something else that's better for my life. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, man, I see it in my kids when they're fighting and they lose a battle or they're going to get in trouble, and their decision is, and you give them the decision, like, you guys can walk away, you can give him the toy, or you can both lose it and you both get punished. And one of them be like, I'll take option B. Burn this place. And they're just like, burn this place down.
It's funny.
But you grow out of that, right? That's like, I see that in like 5-year-olds and like 11-year-old, right? But then like, you got to grow out of that by the time you're 25 and a teacher of kids. Like, you got to grow out of that. Yeah. And you're just like, that's
something that's not being phased out of people's repertoire, I guess.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And I wonder also, like, is it part of because they grew up in this world where it was like they were kind of detached from some of these things?
Well, maybe it also could be the amount of, social media, TikTok, what have you, that they're consuming that's also like influencing them in a negative way that calls them to,
I try to relate, like,
unravel.
the social media is definitely different for a kid. I mean, for my generation, but my social media, like the social media experience that like a young adolescent gets now. No, it was like, it was the school bus, man. It was the school bus. Dude, like,
oh yeah,
the shit.
Or the lunch line. There was a little bunch of shit talking at the lunch line.
I learned so much on the bus. I remember when my friend was like, my friend Eric Fennicall, he was like, boner. And I'm like in second grade. I didn't know what a boner was. I didn't know. Like, I'll never forget this. And he was just like, I was like, what? And he's like, it's when this. And I was like, oh, is that what that's called? And I was like, man, that's social. That's social media. Like, was the school bus. Cause man, I learned a lot of crazy stuff. There's a lot of like, I guess in that, like the fights, like arguments, like uncomfortableness, like
for that.
awkwardness. Yeah, man, that's what I learned about boner. Just the term, the classification of the
actually
thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no boners getting. Yeah.
Well, I learned in my
40s
that there's no bone in those. No, I guess we're both
It is true.
learning a lot.
That is true.
Yeah.
But that's what I think. So I try, like, we don't need to pretend like that kids before like computers weren't subjected to some crazy shit, rapid fire stuff from weird friends, like school, like,
oh, totally.
Yeah. Like crazy shit that Timmy heard, his dad say, who, his dad was a Vietnam vet, like the crazy shit he's hearing at home. He's bringing that to school.
Yeah. My
dad's a Korean. He's like, thinks the communists are coming for us. I'm bringing that shit to second grade.
Teaching your homies how to properly crouch over a roof awning. Be like, this is how you get the best jump on your enemy.
Yeah. Well, the Smith & Wesson is best for rooftop protection.
Oh shit.
But that was I try to think about it and really, because yeah, that's all.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because it reminded me of just how a certain handful of just students in my high school just act fucking wild. It reminded me of just like when Ace would talk about it with his friends growing up, just like invading each other's personal space and all that shit. Being around people that just seeing that happen in front of me, just not with me, but just like others in my vicinity. I'm just like, what am I a part of at this moment? Like, what the fuck is going on around me? Like, just high school was weird at times.
Yep. Yeah, I had a pretty like yeah, we don't need to get into all that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty raucous time. I remember like having like being the guy, being a few of the guys that would like, go and wreck shit, and then also being part of the guys who are like laid back, being like, look at those guys wrecking stuff,
It's like you had your day to wreck shit. It's like, I gotta make my quota today. No,
Mhm.
I'm laying back today, man. I've done too much this week. Can't.
I don't think I've talked about it too much, but it'd be like a series of podcasts where me and my friends my dad had a second house and we rented it from him for 1 year straight, 365 days. My stepmother kicked me out on day 365. She said, she was at the front door, get the hell out.
We're done.
I'm not even,
Lease is up.
It's a direct quote, get the hell out, direct quote. And we knew it too. We were like, it's a good year, boys. We just went nuts. We went nuts. Like, I'm not even joking. 365 days straight of partying. 365 days straight.
How could you? How
It was incredible. It was
It's a
incredible.
good run. You got a good run.
But yeah, like that made me think of it, because we'd have like crazy incidents where like, someone was holding, and then like one of our friends would go to leave, and then the cops would pull up and like be doing a traffic stop like right outside our house. We're inside like, oh my God. Then there'd be like, like someone would bring a group of dudes from like the next neighborhood over.
Like, hey, someone talking shit, you're trying to fight.
Yeah, we had a fight, but like a fucking like 50 dude fight that like sprawled out in the front yard. Like one night, one of my buddies, like some dude had a man bun back then, and they cut it, like he fell asleep, passed out in a chair. So one of my friends was like, I'm gonna cut his hair off. And I was like, well, here's the scissors. So he cut his man bun off. Never forget, I woke up the next morning with one of my roommates, because I guess he was his friend or something. He was like, fucking like in my like screaming, like, who did it? Who did it? And I was like, what are you talking about? I know what you're talking about. Yeah, man, they cut this dude's man bun off. We're lucky, like, man, nowadays people get shot over that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, 365 days of like 18 to 20-year-old dudes. We were totally safe within like the middle of a neighborhood that you would never suspect like all these things are going on. Anyway, speaking of raising kids, right?
Media.
Yeah. Oh, that's the story we've been waiting for.
I'm kind of in a good mood now, so it's like I'm like hesitant to even get into this story about I talk about the forest.
Yeah.
Forest. Yeah. A dude came into my forest.
Yeah, he did.
Someone came to my forest last Sunday and tried to tell me what the rules were going to be in my area of the forest. I told him to get out of my forest. So what were you about to say?
No, I was just going to say, you got to protect your forest. You got to be vigilant.
Oh.
Can't be letting anyone in and just desecrate your forest.
Nothing went down. Things are frosty, but like nothing went down. But man, things could have gone down real easy, because I was so fucking pissed. Like seeing red for like 24 hours. Like things weren't stabilized till the next morning. But like, our house is in the corner of our neighborhood, and I've got 3 kids and they've got friends, and there's a bunch of kids on the street, and it's just, our house is like the center of like where all the kids come. We got a basketball hoop in the driveway, and there's a lot of space because we're in like kind of this corner. It's like kind of a quarter of a cul-de-sac type of thing. But there's just extra space for kids to be on their bikes, and not a lot of traffic. So our garage is open. So we got a TV and sofa in the garage and a fridge and all that. So kids come in there sometimes. We got the backyard that kids just go in and gates open. We got a play set back there, a little trampoline and patio and
Fuck,
TV
dude,
and
it
all
sounds
that
like
stuff.
your house is the house on the block, bro.
Yeah, for little kids, like, and we kind of like it that way because our philosophy is like we always know where our kids are,
Yeah,
Okay.
good
like,
one. That's
right?
smart.
Because it's annoying. I mean, it really is annoying, and it does wear on you sometimes because you know a
Totally.
lot of fucking kids around. They bang shit up. They start whacking on your fence for no reason. They start like hitting stuff, like, and you're just like, what do you like? You know,
One kid's got a
realize, like,
lighter out trying to light shit on fire.
yeah. Well, that I'm
Yeah.
like, hey man, like that. You know, like here, you want to see fire? Let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
I got a beehive that needs
Yeah.
some fucking maintenance.
Lock the gate. But yeah, so it's like it kind of wears on your nerves because it is a lot, but like that's just our philosophy. We have 3 kids. They're gonna be doing these things anyway in the backyard. So like the more the merrier kind of thing.
Mhm.
But like, you know, there's lots of kids, different age groups, and they fight, right? They don't get along all the time. Sometimes it's really great, and sometimes a couple of them just decide they don't like each other. So my boy's in 5th grade and got 2 kindergartners. And yeah, so there's one kid, he's a little kid, because he maybe 1st grade or something. So him and my son don't get along all of a sudden. It's hard to tell because his parents tell me that, you know, their son looks up to him so much, but then, you know, have a problem. So then, you know, anyway, they fight. My son didn't want to let this kid in our backyard.
Mhm.
And the reason is because I told him, I said, like, look, just eliminate the conflict. Like if someone can't get along, just don't play with them. So I mean, it's a little harsh
Simple.
when it actually comes down to it, because he's basically saying, no, you can't come over. So then this kid's like, well, I'm going to go tell my mom.
Oh, it
I'm
sounds
like,
like a
okay.
bitch.
Well, I'm like, okay, you know, like, you know, you're going to tell your mom that you can't come in our home. Like,
Because you're an uncivilized animal.
I mean, he really like, it's not like all these kids are good, right? So, cause like, again, we've been like, it's not an either or thing where it's like this kid, it's like, these are all kids. They're all like doing exactly what they should be doing. The 5th grader's acting like a 5th grader, the 1st grader's acting like a 1st grader, so on and so on. If they didn't fight, like there's something like, we've got to think they're being drugged or something. Like there's something wrong with them if they're not
Right.
fighting. So anyway, so yeah, he goes and runs, you know, something. So then I'm inside doing things. I'm gonna have my normal Sunday. I'm doing stuff, you know, having a few pops, whatever. And so then it's like, this dude's so-and-so's dad is out front. He wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh.
Here we go.
So I'm already like, I'm agitated to this point. I'll be honest, like I'm agitated because it annoys me that, like, I'm like, what could this, I understand what this conversation is going to be about, but
Right.
that doesn't mean that I believe that this conversation should happen. Like that this kid should go home and tell us. So, and of course, like it's a 1st grader. So he's telling his parents like bloody murder, you know, like, you know,
Right.
and you know,
Yeah.
some parents are,
Embellishing the story, what have you.
yeah, some parents understand how to like read those things. And some parents are insanely naive and believe whatever their 1st grader tells them.
They're raising a monster.
To each his own, you know, to each his own.
Yeah.
And so he's like, he's like coming at me like, what's the problem over here? What's the problem? He's kind of like, you know, trying to smile, but also trying to, you know, ask me what the problem is, you know? So I'm like, I don't think there is a problem, because my take is like, I don't really like this and the conflict and all that, but it just needs to work itself out. Like,
Right.
he's like, well, you know, your son is calling my son a tattletale. I'm like,
You're
okay,
standing on my porch,
you're
bro.
standing on my porch, man. And a baby. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and he won't let him in the backyard. I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah, that's pretty tough. Cause I'm like, I'm not really, again, I'm not like getting defensive to where like, I'm not going to deny that these things are happening. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He did say that. That's too bad. And I, you know, and I'm not saying that that probably doesn't hurt your boy, you know? So
Right.
he's like, you don't think that, that doesn't seem right. It's not right. And like, I was like, oh no, you know, they don't get along. I guess they got a lot of problems. So I, you know, I told them to just get rid of the problem. You know, like if they can't play, then don't have them in the backyard. He's like, that's not right. And I was like, well, okay. And then he's like, well, your son's the oldest. He's like, so don't you think he should be setting a better example? And I was like, all right, motherfucker. Like, no. Okay.
You went
So
there.
I didn't cuss or anything. Like, this was all like, because I knew like I had a few, so I was new. Like if I start like cursing, like getting really demonstrative, then like I'm gonna
Right.
definitely look like the bad guy. So I was like starting to get pissed, and I was like, I don't really care. Like these kids are gonna fight. They fight all the time. Like they're always calling the. And I started to like adding in the part that I'm always here. I'm here all weekend when all the
Yeah.
kids are around. I'm like, if you're really that concerned, maybe you should be around more too. And I was telling him, I was like, I don't see you. I see your kids all over the street. I don't see you. Then he starts. This is, I think, when he realized like he made a mistake. Like he made a mistake coming over here because like there's no ground for him to stand on, like for having this conversation.
Yeah.
Or like being kind of like taking the stance he's taken. So where are we? Like, so I was like, they have to fight and they have to work things out. I'm like, they're calling each other names all the time. Like, and then the next minute they're playing, right? Like one kid's like the little kids are calling the big kids cheaters, right? Because they always win. They get every rebound in basketball because they're bigger. And the older kids are like, you're crybabies. Stop being a crybaby. That's what's happening. Like, have you never been that age before, dude?
Right.
Like, were you like sheltered? Like you never got to interact with the kids? Like when you were that age, like, do you not and like, that's the thing too. Like you do remember, but for some reason as a parent now you're in this mode where my kid can't lie. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like my kid
Yeah.
can't come back and tell me a story and spin it the way that, they want it to happen, So that's gross because we don't like look at our kids like that. They're not innocent. If they say something happened, we're just like, okay, like, it's going to be a he said, she said. We just don't get into it.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, the guy's like, well, you're so I said, I think he's, I was like, you know what? I think he's doing his best. I think those are the words. I think he's doing his best because there's a lot of age groups and he tries to do his best to like keep the peace. Right. Because it is his backyard. So he does try to like keep the
Right.
peace. Like most of the time he's orchestrating games between like my girls in kindergarten, first graders, third graders,
Right. He's
his
like
grade.
hosting almost.
He's hosting. Right.
I feel like
Right.
this is gonna prove this is gonna come in very useful to him when he becomes an adult later on.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah. Yeah. So I said, I think he's doing his best. And that's where this guy's like, okay, I get it. And he started chuckling. So my response was, no, I don't think you do get it. I don't think you do get it. And I basically told him what was up. And I said, I don't think you do get it. And if you got a problem with it, you should just keep your kids away from here. And he was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I said, that's, then I was getting into me and I was just like that sounds like a great idea. I think the best thing to do is for your kids not to play over here anymore. And then like the look in his face was like, as he realized, like, not. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder what this guy was going to accomplish here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you got your kids banished. That's going to be real awkward for your kids now.
Right.
It's like,
We'll
hey,
be
Dad, gotta
fine.
go play at the house down the street. No, I fucked up, son. I'm an idiot.
No, whenever everybody goes in the backyard, like he can't.
Yeah.
Because his dad came over here and tried to ask me what the problem was.
And that feels like the real lesson in the whole thing is that kid is his dad is fighting his battles, and I don't think that's ever going to be a good stance for a man because you're raising a boy turns into a man. Like
Yeah.
that your dad's going to fight your battles. Like that's not really a good lesson. Like what you're telling your kids, like you guys need to sort it out. Because it's not like they're pulling knives out on each other or hitting each other's rocks. Like it's words being exchanged over a game. So if you can't sort that out, that's like the lowest level of figuring shit out.
Plus, my son is a big fifth grader, right? He's an
Right.
above average dude. And this kid is a well below average first grader. So
Gotcha.
like my wife and I are just like, where's the bullying? Like this, like my son is like 130 pounds. This kid weighs like 30 pounds. Like there's
Right.
no, it's like, does
Right.
does a bull bully a chicken? Like there's no bullying. Like it's just, like why would my son feel the need to bully some kid that's like smaller than his sister? Because one of my girls is like, I'm bigger than him. I'm bigger than that kid. But yeah, I was, oh my God, I was like blind with rage. And then, so the last part of this is like, I told him, I was like, yeah, just don't come over here. Just tell your kids, don't come over here anymore. That's the simplest way to make sure that we don't have any misunderstandings. So, oh yeah, but before that, when I was telling him about all the times that they fight and like make up, he starts to give me this bullshit. Like, well, it'd be nice. You could come get me. And then that's where I kept throwing back. Like, I don't even know you, man. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I've never seen you before. You want me, you want you want to, like, I didn't say this, but like, I was just enraged because it's like, you just want to have your kids have free roam, come over my house, my garage, like inside, outside, backyard, all that. Right. And you want me to like take my time and like come get you whenever there's a problem?
Right.
Man, get the fuck out of here. That's insane.
Question: how long has this kid been participating in,
A long
hanging out?
time. Just,
And this is the first time you've seen the father?
I maybe met him. I honestly don't know if I've ever met this dude before. Yeah, exactly,
That's
man.
crazy.
Exactly.
That happens.
So like, I told my wife tonight, I was like, well, because I was asking her, is this as the wife, because she started texting my wife after this all went down. I think she thought she was going to try to make it better, because when he got home, he had to tell her like, oh, not only is our son not going to get treated better over there, he's just not allowed over there at all. Like he's been banished. And it wasn't even his choice. It was my choice. You people can't come over here anymore. So then she starts firing these text messages. My wife, like, first was kind of bitchy, and my wife was like, maybe we, was like, we can come down and talk, like, because my wife's kind of like, I'm not going to like do this over text messages. They live 6 doors down.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then she got like an even longer text message back and like saying my son was a bully and all this stuff, but like, it's just like all this wacky stuff. Like, he loves him. He looks up to him so much. And it's like, but he's a bully. He's a real bully. I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe, she wouldn't let me read the texts because she said it was going to make things worse. I haven't seen these, but it's
okay. What the fuck?
She knows her audience.
She knows I was going to get, because I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Throw a Molotov through their fucking window.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe, so I told her tonight, I was like, well, our current stance is, we do nothing and they can come apologize to me whenever they realize the error in their ways. On that, they're just, the kids are banished. Yeah, it's like, I see, like, I don't know if I've ever met the guy before. If I've ever met this guy before, and we've done it like long. I was not here for a while, but they
He's
were
so
there.
devoid
They were
of-
there way before I left for a while. Like they were there. Like, so maybe
Wow.
I've met this guy once, like in passing.
Or maybe he's just so devoid and lacking in charisma and presence that you just forgot him instantly.
I mean, maybe. We never had a conversation like, where are you from, anything like that. It's more like, oh, you live here, you live here, I live here. You okay? Your kids goes, yeah, we go, okay. I'm like, that's it. I maybe it was maybe an introduction thing, but up until then, like for, I don't know, 5+, I never talked to this guy before.
Right.
He's in my
So this will
driveway
be the
asking
first
me.
weekend that the kids are maybe going to be playing at your house or trying
Yeah,
to play at
maybe.
your
Well, they've been
house.
doing it this weekend, but like our stance is we don't care. Like we do, like I've been trying to push, like we don't have to change any of our behavior.
Yeah.
Like it's all on them to keep their kids away from here.
What if their kids show up? You won't shoo them off, right?
If I'm there, I'll probably tell them, you should probably go home and talk to your dad. Your dad and I had an agreement that you wouldn't come back here. You should ask him about it. I'll be honest with him, like I would expect someone else to be honest with my son if the role was reversed.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was like, this will work out as soon as this dude comes over and apologizes, and also thanks me. because nowhere in this exchange was there like a, hey, thanks a lot for having our kids over all the time in your backyard, you know?
Right.
Keeping them safe, making sure they're not abducted, not
Yeah.
hurting them, taking
Because-
Yeah.
reliability.
Like we
you know.
realize that kids at that age like mess stuff up, they drop things, they break things, they, you know,
Get
whatever.
thirsty.
Whatever.
you
Yeah,
gotta keep 'em
whatever.
hydrated.
Yeah, it's like yeah, never, no, thank you, whatever, like that. It's like, now you're gone. I think it's funny. I mean, I was really pissed, but now I'm starting to see like the humor in it, because the fact, like the moment this guy like turned around and he realized like, oh shit, I didn't like there's no way he thought that he was about to get his, like the result would be that his kid's banished from this place now.
Right.
I'm sure that's not like, you know, his wife probably sent him down the street like, you go over there and make sure our little Bobby is treated right when he goes over there. And he comes back, he's like, he's just not allowed to go over there anymore at all. You know, it's like, whose decision was that? I was like, oh, you know, he's got to be like, oh, well, mutual. It was my decision.
It's like I married a fucking idiot.
100% my decision that your kids don't come over here, and yeah, no say in the matter.
Oh my god.
I guess they thought, you know, it's like, and I get the wife. It seems like the wife is even worse, to be honest
Yeah?
with you. Yeah. Judging by the text messages that I was not allowed to read, but set off a chain
Yeah.
reaction. Because my wife doesn't handle this. She's not a real fan of like all the conflict.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, this is how we send messages. This is how you communicate with your community.
Yeah.
Because we got 2 young daughters. And yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm sure the neighbors have heard too.
Does the neighborhood do all the owners, parents I should say, get together and have like a meeting every few months?
Nah, they have like a block party. That'll be fun this summer.
Okay.
I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun. I don't really do awkward moments, so I mean, this will just be come on out and have a good time.
Right.
So yeah, she doesn't like that. So she was like, and also I'm telling her what happened.
Uh-huh.
So she's got to be thinking, man, he's slurring his words a little bit. Like, is he telling me exactly what? Oh yeah. So sorry. As this dude's walking away, realizing
boy.
that mission was unaccomplished,
Yeah.
He's made a big mistake.
I looked over and every kid in the neighborhood was watching it all go down. I look over at my daughters, my son, like all the kids are just all standing in a row, like just watching these 2 men have this disagreement.
Was it loud? Was
And
it
he
like
said,
elevated?
I think it was like stern, like, yeah, like he was trying to like be like, I felt like it was like passive aggressiveness, the whole thing where you're just like, okay, oh yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm.
if you want to say something, man,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but the whole, like, he was like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, like, okay, you're one of those asshole. It's like, just say something, say it, man,
You're like, yes, I am.
say it.
Say it with the
Matter of
chest,
fact.
bro.
And he was like, I don't think, you know, again, I was like, I don't think you do. I should have said get this. I mean, I wish I said get to stepping like Martin. That'd have been the only thing.
You know, you always have regrets after any interaction like that.
Yeah.
There's always that one.
I really
thing you
regret
wish-
that. I regret the part where I'm just like, how about a thank you? I really regret that part.
Yeah. Well, maybe
You're
you'll
fun-
get
to be
another
like,
chance.
just start up with like, you know,
Mhm.
it's cool.
I mean, he had the stones to come over once. I'm guessing your weekends are going to look like drop-bys from this guy. If he comes back again, are you ready? for
Well,
that?
I don't
Yeah,
understand
man, you
why
gotta
he
keep
would
us
ever,
updated.
I don't understand why he'd
Well-
ever come by. I'm like,
Well, if you have to
Yeah.
tell his kid to leave again, go talk to your dad. He's going to be like, bro.
oh yeah, come on over, bring your son, and I'll tell you both together just to make sure it's clear. Bring your wife. Bring the whole fucking neighborhood too. Like, yeah, we'll get it clear. It's like you want to have your kid like just free roam. And then you
No.
got the nerve to come over here and try to talk to me about like, just come on.
That's the thing. The parents that like let their kids just sleep over all the time, like come over, like they never like you sometimes you never even meet these parents. Like the kids are just like, oh no, my mom said it's fine. My mom said it's fine. My mom said it's fine. Just like they just are completely checked out. So for him to come over and think that he's gonna get some sort of thing across when you've already been hosting his kid for probably more than a year, never met him. He doesn't care that he doesn't know if you're a criminal. He doesn't know if you run drugs out of your house. Like he knows nothing about you.
He knows that. I guess he doesn't, and now he knows like, this kid's not going to get a special treatment, and now like there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't like. There's no loss here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
One
it upset
less.
my wife. It upset her
Uh-huh.
because obviously she's concerned. She's thinking like the worst. I'm like,
Right. It'll work itself out. I think you're right. I think it'll just
yeah,
work itself out. And like you said, there's nothing for you to change. He'll either come over or apologize, or the boys will work it out where your son feels like he feels bad for that kid or whatever. It'll work out.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, my kids will probably soften, but
Yeah.
I don't
You'll
know.
keep them hard.
I can't. Like, I really can't imagine. Like, if I was him, I would. There's no way I'd let my kids go over there.
I wouldn't either, but
Because man,
somebody who doesn't want their kids around, they're letting their kids free roam
yeah.
to not have their kids in the house. Same as you're letting your kids have all those kids over because they keep them out of your house. Like the goal is keep the kids out of the house. So
I don't
everybody's
want to
trying to
like.
get this thing accomplished.
They seem to be responsible people. Like I don't want to make it
Yeah.
seem like they're just partying away and like
No.
doing a ton of cocaine while their kids are out playing. I mean, just to moderate them out. I don't want to paint a terrible picture of them or anything.
Your block sounds fun. I hear you.
No, but like, it's like there is like, yeah, you get your kids like running in people's backyards like for considerable amounts of time. Like,
yeah,
I don't like my kids don't go to your play like because
they're in kindergarten.
well they go places, they go where it's the most fun, right? Like you can't like the parents can't get together like, okay, you're all going to hang out in this area. It's like, no, they decide like this is the place that we like to be because it's got the most fun. Like it's
snacks,
whatever.
snacks.
Like we don't have to get out of the way.
Yeah,
we don't have
to
to
lure the kids with snacks.
Yeah, we don't do that because that gets to be. Yeah.
Then you start attracting all the feral kids.
Yeah, then it's like
that's the food house. They got food all the time.
Like you're just asking to be angry at the kids all the time in that case because they're not. Well, you're probably out there like handing them out. Like, what do you say? What do you say, Timmy? Like nowadays, these kids just start helping themselves, and then all of a sudden you find yourself like hating the kids because you're just like leaving trash. Like they don't know how to throw shit away.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was rip shit pissed. I'm feeling better about it now. But yeah, like they owe us apology.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for.
I don't expect one. So as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. That should be fine.
So
what's the moral of the story? What's the takeaway?
Introduce yourself to your neighbors.
Right.
Yeah,
before you act. I'm going to make a board game. I need to make some kind of like forest tools, like stick figures in forest. Like just break it down. Like how would this go in the forest? Go to another man's area of the forest and say, hey, man, you should act this way. And your kids and your family, you should do things a certain way in your area because I want to send my kids over to your area of the forest so they could frolic and everything goes. And it's like, and the guy's like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
I feel better. But yeah, it's like it's outrageous, man. And I don't think it's like they don't realize
nerve of some people, man.
We don't think by the text messages that the wife was sending afterwards, we don't think they get it. We feel like we think they think they've been like aggrieved somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always.
Get it.
Always. People who will come to your door to discuss something, they will always leave not happy. Like they're coming over to.
Yeah. Some people, like my wife, she doesn't want she does like to work. Like imagining like this woman telling other neighbors like about like saying
Yeah.
bad things about us. That's like her worst nightmare. And I'm just like, I like it. I like it.
Imagine having picture evidence.
I like it.
Or
Yeah.
before we wrap the show, I also wanted to contribute with a story. It's one of those am I the asshole in this scenario, because I was running around town trying to renew my passport, and I was successful in that earlier today. But yesterday, on my way to the local post office, there was this motorist in the turn lane to my left, and I guess they weren't paying attention enough to realize, oh shit, I can't make a left. Or I mean, I'm not. They made the wrong mistake. They made the wrong decision to get into the turn lane, and they're trying to get back into my lane. And I saw her asking me like, "Hey, like motion, can I get in here?" And I was just like, giant X, and I smiled like, nope. And then I just drove, and I didn't know that she was also going to the post office. And
Awesome. Yes,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I could
That's
hear
awesome.
her like cursing me out as we were both pulling into the driveway. But in my head, I'm like, lady, what I didn't set you back time wise. We both got here at the same time. And here's my reasoning behind this is, look, there's already plenty of people out there on the roads driving erratically, what have you, on meds or stone drunk, what have you. Then you have these people that are just like, oh shit, I wasn't attentive enough or mindful enough to think down the road, literally, to know not to make a left here. And instead of just, making a left and just going around the block, I'm going to hold traffic up by trying to get into a lane that I should have been in already. That's why I was just like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not enabling this behavior anymore. It doesn't matter if it's only if it's like a life and death decision, obviously, but like this is just like, nah.
Those people should have their brains dissected. You know what I mean?
What if it's somebody from out of town or has never been on that block or is a nervous
She wasn't from
driver?
out of town. She wasn't from out of town.
Y'all need to learn some compassion.
She went to the post office
No.
to drop a package
Not
off.
for those people.
Yeah.
I want for notice I didn't even know the race of the person involved
Mhm.
when I said these people, not for these
She
people.
was
for
Asian.
Those
She
people.
was Asian.
Well, I'd assumed it. Yeah.
She was definitely Asian.
But like,
Obviously.
yeah, like when I lived in Florida, like this is my earlier days where I would do stuff and then not have a real plan to back. Like I don't do as much crazy stuff because I do feel like I should have a plan to back it up. But this is why I do stuff when I wouldn't have a plan to back things up. Like I was leaving work to go to lunch at Chili's with my coworkers.
Uh-huh.
And somebody wouldn't I wanted to get over in a lane and they wouldn't let me. And I felt they sped up.
Mhm.
So I gave this guy the finger, thinking not too much of it because it's like, it's a regular thing, And then lo and behold, I get to Chili's and this son of a bitch and his wife pull up right next to me. And they're going into Chili's too. And the guy, we go into the front door at the same time. And it's like, he knows, man. He was just like, how's that middle finger now? And I was like, I froze because it's like, what am I going to do? Obviously, I'm the asshole in this situation.
Hopefully, you're gonna learn your lesson. Not be doing that.
Yeah, it was like an interesting moment. Like, oh, that can happen. Like the person could show up at the same place. Like that. We were on the same road going in the same direction, but it's like you're like that guy's gonna end up at Chili's. No, man.
Oh man.
But I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I just gotta just keep my mouth shut and just there's nothing. Because what am I gonna do? It was like an older guy, like in his 50s, like with his wife, who was like, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Start
double
yeah,
burden.
start something from why so that I don't feel awkward or embarrassed at this moment. And I was just I was so embarrassed. I was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Because it's like
I got nothing.
I think he did let me in, but because he did let me in because I flipped him bird like that.
Yeah.
So he did let me in, but I sensed that he didn't want to. But I went in there and I was like, man. Yeah, that was probably one of those moments where I was like, I got to stop. I got to chill out a little bit.
Check yourself before you wreck
That's the
yourself. I
same
hear
moment.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, pull up at Chili's and he said something right at the front door. And I was like,
oh man.
If it was like a younger dude that was like, what's up? But he was like, what am I going to do? Fight this guy with his wife there?
Hey, it could have been worse. You guys could have both pulled into a Waffle House and all bets would have been
That's
off.
true.
Man.
That's true. Would have been gunned down in a blaze right there.
Yeah, dude. Just another day at the
Maybe I
Waffle
didn't know
House.
that this thing was like that's not even like.
Dude, you drive for a living, man. The worst people in the world, like worse than like, yeah. Just think of the worst, like the worst people in the world is like, you ever been like, there's like 3 or 4 lanes going your direction and you're in the right lane and you decide to let someone that's coming out of like that shopping center take a right turn in front of you. And then as soon as they do, they flip their left turn blinker on. And
it's like, oh, fuck off.
And then they proceed to like, you didn't realize that their plan was to go about 20 yards and then get in the left-hand turn lane. And they just like go straight over and they got no problem blocking every single lane as they edge over. Because eventually like you get let go, but then as you look back, they're just blocking every other lane. Those are, I mean, those are the kind of people that would do genocide. I'm just saying. Like you check their genes, their DNA, whatever that is these days, like there's traits that are shared.
That's what I'm telling you, people. I'm trying to spread awareness. Don't enable that shitty driving behavior. Just be like, nah, man, I'm sticking to my.
You have to love your fellow man on the road.
I'm showing them tough love on the road.
I'm kind of amazed because it's just like, oh, I never knew you could just do that. You could just be like, screw the entire world. Like I never like I've been selfish before, but I never knew that you could just be like, I don't give a damn about any of you people. I don't care if you have to stop. I don't care if you're confused. I'm gonna get over here because I'm gonna save myself 5 minutes. Like I don't want to have to go and then turn around.
Yeah.
They just don't care. Like wow, I didn't know that was possible.
And also, Quana, to double back to what you said about them being out of town, I can't give them any leeway either because people have Google Maps. There's ways they could easily have pulled that up or pulled over to the side of the road and be like, let me pull this bitch up. And, you know.
This is why I don't leave the house.
I've thought about that I'm not kidding. I've been in my car thinking about this needs to be a topic, like a topic that we dedicate a lot of time to, like the person that does that move that you let them in, flip the blinker on, and you're just like, God. And they got no problem. They don't care about anybody but themselves.
That's everybody on the road. That's why you have to be the change you want to see.
I try to be the change that I want to see on the road, but it's a thankless job. It goes unnoticed. No one takes any pointers to be like, I'm gonna be like that motorist over there. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, but you know what? You go home and you're like, oh my God, that sweet guy that let me in today. And she's going to go home and be like, this motherfucker went like this. No, bitch.
Hey,
yeah,
at
that is pretty
least
messed
smiled.
up. The decent thing to do is to just ignore her like you don't even see her existence. That's the decent thing. To be like, look over and be like, let her know that you see her, but don't respond.
She thought I made eye contact with her. Literally, the A-pillar was just blocking my way.
Those are great situations that are just every day for everybody. Like where, there's a guy that's trying to get in front of you and he's looking right at you and you're just looking straight forward. You're like, I know you're looking at me. I don't care.
That's every light when you're a girl. That's literally every light when you're a girl.
I'm gonna look at my radio. I'm gonna check this. I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna
dig at my nose, whatever I have to do.
I'm not gonna look at you, but I'm gonna look at everything around here just to let you know that I'm alive and I can look at things, but I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna check my radio, even though there's no intention to do it. Like check my temperature.
Oh fuck.
Check the side view mirror and all that, but no, man. But you've also been the person where you're trying to get in and you're staring at that person and you're just like, they will not look back at me.
Yep.
Now I got to sit here pretending like I don't really want to get in front of you that badly. You know, like it's fine. I'll wait. And then, but you're like, I hope they let me in. But like, I'm not going to give this guy the satisfaction of making eye contact to let him think I want to get in.
Oh
my
ridiculous.
God. Men are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, let me in. Can I and they're like, yeah, then you just get right in. And then hold up the lane. Just kidding.
No, I mean, it's not like, it's like when Adam Carolla talks about like the guy that will call someone out at the 10 items or fewer, the express checkout lane at the grocery store. Like you don't really hate the person. You're just like, man, you kind of feel bad. 'Cause it's like, man, I never would have thought to like, just screw everybody just so I could get over it. Like, so I can cross 4 lanes and not be inconvenienced by having to go around or anything. Never knew that was a possibility.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
Well, we learned a lot tonight.
Yeah, we sure did.
I hope so.
learned
I
a
was
new driving thing, road. signal.
Yeah, I didn't want to like, I wasn't almost frame my story as like, was I an asshole? But no.
No.
Or I was
mean,
righteous. I was righteous. Righteous
A
asshole.
righteous asshole.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it's really
Good.
pissed. Really.
Well, we also
I
want
think
to
I get more pissed about like the confusion part. Like what? Like what? Yeah, that part.
What was he thinking?
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking he's raising a pussy, is what he's thinking.
I don't
To
know.
be honest, you're gonna come over and fight
know
your
what
kids' battles, like, what?
You know what I did say? I did say to him something like, because again, I wasn't like never happened. Like my attitude wasn't like this didn't happen. My attitude was like, oh yeah, this all happens. Like it happens nonstop. Like,
Right.
And it's okay.
Right.
Well, I said something like, yeah, when I was going, I was like, yeah, I understand how you feel. Like, because my son, he was his age at some point, and he was the smallest kid trying to play with all the big kids. Like, so I was like, I understand how you feel and like where you're coming from. But it's like, again, like no reason for you to come at us like this.
Yeah.
Like I tried to like be like, I understand, like, yeah, you got a first grader, but man.
So you're not
Thank
the
you.
asshole.
First off, thank you. You could have said thank you.
Yes.
Or like, how about my name is nice to meet you?
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with what's the problem? I got no problems.
No.
Anyway.
Now, Manny, on the other hand, Manny is the asshole in his situation, and
No.
he's the okay.
Smile. He smiled. Give her a smile.
I'm not an asshole. I'm just
Show me how you did it
misunderstood.
again, Manny. Show me how you did it again.
Yeah. I love that she also went the same place as you.
Yeah, dude. Like as I was entering the post office, she was leaving. She just gave me the dirtiest, foulest look.
I would have never been able to.
I live for that. I live for that kind of thing.
So, you just got to be out there. I'm being the change I want to see in this world. Damn it!
Yeah.
You can too. Like and subscribe. Support us. Tell all your friends, please. We need the likes. Run the numbers up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe she doesn't do that next time. I think. I appreciate you, Manny, because she might be here someday.
What
out
on the
of
show?
town,
Okay.
And she'll think twice before, getting in a left-hand turn lane and changing her mind. Like that's it. Like people just change their mind on the road. They're just like, everybody else deal with it. I'm changing my mind. Like, what?
It's not a change of your mind. It's like, oh my God, you can't get over in this lane. Like the lanes are confusing.
Oh.
Where I live, there's like 5 lanes and 3 of them go to the freeway. And then this one merges in and this one merges in the middle. And it's like, I never know what the fuck lane I'm going in because I don't drive that road all the time. But it's like, it's just,
I gotcha.
saying, some people are nervous and should be medicated, like Christopher brought up. Let's bring it full circle.
Or shouldn't be. It's hard to tell. Like, I'm not even saying they should or should. Like,
I'm saying
case by case basis.
Yeah.
Everybody's crazy
road,
out
though.
there.
They're driving.
Everybody's crazy out there, man.
They sure are.
Everybody's
so make sure
voices.
to drive defensively, people. Drive defensively.
If you're gonna have voices in your head, make sure it's ours.
There you go.
Like and subscribe, and get it on.
Get it on.
Get it on, everybody.
All right.
Go to stuff.
Thanks, guys. Hope you had fun tonight.
Hell yeah, man. I had a blast.
Y'all are fun.
I forgot about my story. It was I'm
wild.
I've calmed down a little bit.
Well, that's the purpose we serve here on the show, man.
Yeah. Are we still? Should we still be live and recording and all that?
Or just stop the audio at least. You keep streaming if you'd like.
Yep. So it got a little rough here
Need it.
Sunday night too. Because I think I
Yeah.
get the bad habit, like when I'm drinking beers around the house, I'll leave like a open beer in the kitchen or something. Like, cause I'm like all over, like go back to the garage, backyard, back and forth. So like sometimes I'll have 2 beers open.
Excuse me.
You have 2 fridges. I mean, it makes sense. You got to have your
That's a
beer by your
long-
fridge.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a real pet peeve for my life. So yeah. Gotta work on that. That's what in like all this drama that was going on Sunday night that happened. We had a couple half sitting around, whatever, that they always get drunk. But like, yeah, that kind of made her mad, or maybe made her think that maybe I was had too much to drink that day or something.
Oh,
I don't think that's, I mean, we agree everything's fine the next morning because I hadn't.
Right.
Everything was fine. Like,
right.
yeah, but yeah, like she doesn't like the conflicts. But
Well,
that's
no
all
one
right.
does.
Yeah.
Especially neighborhood conflicts, and it wasn't your fault. I mean, I'm gonna stick to it wasn't your fault. You're just enjoying your day with a million fucking kids at your house, cutting
Yep.
wood,
I
trying to
wasn't
be
enjoying the
whatever you're
day.
doing.
It was
Yeah.
it was bull.
You're
It was
barbecuing ribs. You fucking
yeah, I had
barbecuing
ribs. Yeah, they made it worse because I had ribs.
I
I
want some
wasn't. I
ribs.
ate them. I wasn't able to enjoy them as much. And then what really pisses me off is that Sunday night was the premiere of ESPN's 30 for 30, The Bullies of Baltimore, which is a story about the 2000 Ravens and their, the greatest defense of all time in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they were bullies and they were shit talkers. And the plan was I was going to watch with my son. We're going to enjoy it.
Instead, you got yourself all worked up. 'cause of that
Instead,
stupid
like you
neighbor.
got some neighborhood wench calling him a bully.
Did you even learn their names? He never told you his name.
Yeah, I know his first name.
The dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm the crazy one in our family. Like I was, yeah, I'm the mom you didn't want to mess around with at the school. And
I could totally see
no
that.
room. I had no room for people that I wanted my kids to be safe. So I was always at that fucking school. And they didn't fuck with my kids.
I try to create like an environment for my kids that is close to what my environment was, which was very much free, like just run free.
Yeah.
Because it is a very safe area. Like I don't really, as safe as anywhere can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel better.
I think you're doing a great job. And I think that is important for kids to have those kind of freedoms. And I think that having the house that has like the good trampoline and the nice mom and dad and, the fun kids and the fun, all that stuff. I think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, dude.
I think it works.
That's a great way to parent. That way where your kids are at. And like you said, your kids aren't down at his house causing trouble or getting bullied. Like if you want to know what the fuck's going on with your kid, make your house the fun house, and then I'll see if I want to let my kids go to your house. Probably I won't.
My friend, my homegirl Al, she actually, her parents belonged to a church that had a campus here in town that they lived on. So essentially like their house was like the hangout house because they literally lived on a fucking college campus. So like there was always like a pack of kids just roaming around this deserted fucking patch of land. And it was the best time of my fucking life ever.
Yeah, man,
dude.
I love those times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about it like, man, my parents had no idea, but it's like we were just off on our bikes, probably not even for that long. But the sense of freedom that you felt, like, yeah, that was something.
I was as a little girl basically raised by my grandma who had a bunch of foster kids, and we were literally sent outside after breakfast, and that was it. Like, don't. Sometimes she would call us back in and give us money and make us go buy like cigarettes and stuff for her at the store. Like we had
But
to walk
after
all the way
that,
up
it's
to
like fuck off.
back outside. Go back.
Yeah, like
go back
what are you?
outside.
Why are you inside? Like, yeah, what are you?
Yeah.
inside?
What do you want? Like, yeah, you knew you weren't welcome. I mean, it wasn't like it felt bad. Like we weren't allowed to go inside. Like your friends would be like, oh, go in. No, I can't go in there. Like, can't go in. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I didn't want my kids to have that either. And I think that that's good that you have like an open, a garage area where they can kick it. And because as they get older, they will still be bringing their friends to your house, and your
Yeah.
house will be the house where, maybe there is
I mean, things can change, but it's like that's kind of our strategy now is yeah.
Especially with the girls. I think the girls, you have to keep your eye on it.
Mhm.
And it's good that you have two, because people aren't going to want them both sleeping over. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's going to be, they'll get
I
like
don't know,
one child.
it's like maybe I played this all wrong. Maybe the fact that all the boys that come around my two little girls think that their older brother is a crazy bully. Gee, what
I
have I
wonder.
done here?
Yeah.
What have I done? I've created an image around my defenseless daughters that there's crazy dudes that are looking out for them. Oh, what a shame. Yeah, I got no problem with that. What do you got planned this weekend, Manny? Other than just sporting your gold chain, looking all fly?
I got to do some working out on Sunday and tomorrow, and then also just edit this episode, do some drum practicing.
Oh yeah. It hold you accountable on the drums.
There's been a lot of progress made on the drums lately. I'm
Nice.
I'm feeling very pumped. I might be starting to do some video uploads to my Instagram about that. So
Oh, that'd be
stay
sweet.
posted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah. If there's any
That's
covers
awesome.
you guys want me to play, let me know.
Obviously Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Only
Start
Moby
with
Dick.
that. Start with that.
Start with that. Okay, I guess.
And then work your way back to hot cross buns.
I'll
My
get
girls have
to
learned
it.
how to be like, they're like, hey Google, play hot cross buns.
That's funny.
And just plays that like the
Well, shit. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night for now, though, guys. It's been a
Yes, sir.
blast.
Yeah, we'll see y'all
Catch you on the flip
in about
side.
20.
See you on the gram,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, right.